So I feel that a really good way that people can support anyone involved in adoption is to just educate themselves. Use terms that aren't going to be offensive, and just be kind in what you have to say. And if you can't think of anything to say, you can just say something as simple as, "I'm sorry you're going through that," if that is appropriate, or "That's really great." Something simple. You don't have to have a full-on conversation if you're not prepared or comfortable with that.
One time I was talking to someone, a lady was just asking me, a random lady at the grocery store overheard me on the phone talking about my placement with a birth mom. And she stopped me and started asking me questions like, "What were you talking about?" And so I started telling her, and she's like, "So you gave your baby away?" And then she stopped herself and she looked at me and she's like, "That term probably is kind of hurtful." And she's like, "What would you prefer? Like, what do birth moms want?" And she had all these questions for me. And so, you can approach the situation and let them know, I'm going to be honest, I know nothing about adoption, so I'm sorry if I say something that's hurtful. But if I say something that's hurtful, just stop me and tell me what I should be saying instead.
I would always rather people ask questions, even stupid questions, than to say nothing at all, because when I was going through it especially, people just didn't say anything to me. People didn't acknowledge it. People were afraid to address it. And then and post-placement, I'm sure people were thinking, "Gosh, she must be hurting." But no one wanted to bring it up. No one knew what to say. I would rather someone say, "I don't know what to say," or just ask me "What can I do? How can I support you? How can I address this?" Just to acknowledge okay, you're going through something,
Yeah.
Yeah, I had similar things. I'm very open about it. I have pictures of him up in my life, and people are like, "Oh, who's that?" And I tell them, and they get this kind of ghost look on their face, I don't know what to say.
Deer in the headlights.
And so I feel the same way. I wish they would just ask, and approach the situation kindly. This is, everyone hears adoption is about love. It's about love. So show me love in how you approach this.
I find a way for me to disarm people, put them at ease that this is something we can talk about, is I make jokes. I use humor. I'll be like, "Oh, I got knocked up at 17,
Yeah.
And then people are like, "Oh, she must be okay with this." You know what I mean? Because if you can make a joke, you've processed to some degree at least. I'm not going to start bawling if you ask me a question,